Howdy, Space Rangers, Captain Phoenix. Right, now that I've gotten your attention, let's begin this video. So you guys know I reviewed Minions, and I've had an idea. What if I rank all the Illumination movies? I've done Pixar, I've done DreamWorks, I've done Disney, I think. So I figured it's about time we get to Illumination. Illumination is definitely a weird company because they're definitely one of the newer ones. Their very first movie was Despicable Me in 2010, 12 years ago. Let that sink in. These guys are young, like a year before South Sudan. They're older than South Sudan. Think about that. Think about that. So yeah, in the course of those 12 years, they have made, unsurprisingly, 12 movies, not counting the Mario movie because that's not out, as that would be movie number 13 for them. And I'm here to rank them all. Let's be honest here. I was gonna do a normal Illumination ranking video, sort of like how I did in my Pixar video. Then I just remembered something. Illumination is kind of a crazy company. They fall into the same realm where I thought Sony fell into, where most of their movies are either just bad or insane. And so I figured the best way for me to talk about these movies would be to put them on a tier list. So that's what we're gonna do. A tier list of all the Illumination movies. The best ones being honestly pretty good. I could watch these ones and criticize them as actual movies. Possible. Like it's like harmless. So bad it's good. These movies are just absolutely bonkers, and I love them. And we are playing garbage because let's face it, Illumination makes a good deal of bad, real bad movies. So without further ado, let's get into it. I've bored your minds already, and let's begin. Starting with their first movie. Despicable Me. This was the first one they ever made, so obviously they put a lot of effort into it. Is that drilling going on outside right now? Really, compadre? Forgive me for that. I had no idea they were doing that. So what you gonna do? Anyway, Despicable Me. This was the first movie they ever made, and this one obviously had the most effort put into it. So of course, with it being the first one and their grand opening or the what do you call it? Magnum opus. Yeah, it's honestly a pretty good movie. I really enjoyed this movie. I really love Gru, his relationship with the girls, and the minions. They were not as prominent as they are in the other movies because, again, this is the first outing. So people are like, oh, cute minions. However, the Facebook moms came in and decided to put them in literally everything, and now Illumination won't stop using them. So thank you, Facebook moms. You've done the world a favor. Next, we have Hawk, which was like in 2011. This one is not really animated. It's more like an animation live action hybrid. So I'm just gonna talk about the movie in general. This movie has a special place in my heart for one. I remember watching this movie with like my dad and my brother, and we would just laugh at all the absurd moments in this film. This film is like a fever dream. Like me and my brother would quote for days on end on this one scene in the end where like this chicken turns into a bunny chick hybrid, and he's like, it's called a coup d'etat, or in French, a coup d'etat. And we just died at that. This movie is just madness. There's an I Want Candy song in there. I think Simon Cowell was in this movie. And it's also the first time, at least according to my memory, that James Marsden was filming with a CGI animal. I guess he was just preparing to film Sonic later on. And he's like, this movie is a bad movie. It's not a great movie, but it's so bad. It's enjoyable. I legit love this movie. If you just want to have a fun time laughing at something, watch this one. And funny enough, I think it's the only Easter film I know of because like there are a bunch of other films out there. There's like Thanksgiving films, Christmas films, Hanukkah films even, but I've never seen that many Easter films, at least in mass media. So the fact that this is like really the only one of its kind I can think of, it at least has that going for it. It's both the best and the worst. Lorax. This is also another movie that's just so bad. It's good. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I find some of the songs catchy. We obviously have Canopy. Of course, that was the highlight of this movie, the one song that everyone named on. And yeah, no, it's kind of catchy. Legit, I unironically enjoy it. Then we have Let It Grow. This one is now, I just ironically love it. It's such a what the hell kind of song. I don't think this movie is flat out garbage. It does have some saving qualities. I really like the animation. I like how obviously love the Lorax being played by Danny DeVito. That guy is always a win. And yeah, that's about it. I don't really care for the main story, like the main kid and his home family. That's the boring part. Everything to do with the Onceler and his story, that's the best part. And I'm glad like the movie does focus on that for majority of it. So yeah, I enjoy this movie. I enjoy clowning on it. It's there. It's really bad, but it's also really fun to clown on. And then we have Despicable Me 2. This one is, I can't believe I'm saying this, as good as the first one, if not in some respects better. By the way, I am ranking these films based on my enjoyment of them because it's a tier list. I'm not giving them scores out of 10, because again, originally I was gonna make a video where I score each movie out of 10, and I just realized they are basically all the same movie. Like all these movies are at best like a 6 or 7 out of 10. So I need to talk about them on how much I enjoy them, and I guess that's why Lorax and Hop are here. I would rather watch Hop over Lorax. And in this case, it's very hard for me to pick which Despicable Me movie I enjoy more. Despicable Me 2 has a lot of strengths going for it, but Despicable Me 1 is also kind of like a better film overall. Despicable Me 2 has things that are better than the first one, but I don't know if it's a better overall movie. I guess I'd have to like watch both of them again, but you couldn't pay me enough money to do that. But Despicable Me 2 has a lot of things going for it. For one, better animation, obviously. This movie also introduces Lucy, the best character in the entire Despicable Me series, and it's just a shame that out of the 5 movies that we have, she's only in 2 of them. Like, you have the best character and you only bring her for 2 of the 5 movies. I know it doesn't technically make sense that she'd be in the others, but like, come on, man. Rise of Gru, more like Rise of Lucy, am I right? I also really like the little arcs that girls go on. And weirdly enough, I really like the side characters in this film. The side characters are honestly some of the best parts of this movie. El Macho, his son, and again, Lucy. I really like the new additions to this movie. Speaking of which, El Macho, this man's is a giga chat. Like El Macho, when I was watching this movie, I was like, oh, he's so cool. Now I know what Gru speaks of. Dude literally like took a snake, squeezed it so hard that its venom came out in a cup, drank it, and then stuck the snake's teeth in money to leave it as like as payment for the drink. And then he just walks out. And then dude is just like got that Mexican thing going on. And El Macho's a giga say. Though I will say, and this is kind of a spoiler for the other Despicable Me movies coming up, but it's like Illumination just does not know how to write good villains. It's I kid you not, with every Despicable Me movie that they make, the villains get worse and worse and worse. We had Vector, who's like the best villain, and it's obvious why. I mean, he's a Vector. Oh yeah. And then we have El Macho, the Giga Chat, as I mentioned. And then we have Scarlet Overkill in Minions. Those are like the best villains Illumination has, especially like Scarlet Overkill. She's like the last best villain we have. And then afterwards, the villains just get bad. We had like Balthazar Brat in Despicable Me 3, who I didn't enjoy. Even Will Arnett didn't enjoy playing him. He only played him just so he would have his daughter would have a movie she could be entertained by. And then Minions: Rise of Gru, the villains are so one note and boring. They're nothing. I swear, in Rise of Gru, the villains are just a non-entity. They're literally only there to be punching bags for the finale. So yeah, the first 3 Despicable Me movies have great villains. I enjoyed all them for like their different strengths and what they bring, but like the last 2, and now they're making the Despicable Me 4. I am scared with whatever villain they're gonna bring in. But yeah, Despicable Me 2, it's as enjoyable as the first one. I really like both of these ones, and I honestly don't know which is better. And then we have Minions. This one is just mediocre / passable. When I first saw this movie, I kind of liked it, and then I hated it. This was due to like just the internet clowning on this movie and calling it the worst thing ever, which it was. I mean, it was a cash grab. Like there was no denying it. And then now that I'm looking back on it, especially now that Minions 2 exists, I'm like, it's a harmless movie. It's a fun, harmless movie. I like the opening where we get to see the minions evolve and like go through history. I liked where they finally work for Scarlet and like their whole crown heist. And that's about it. The rest of this movie is just filler or nonsense. I really could not care for that part of where they finally leave their ice cave to where they meet Scarlet. That part of the movie is so forgettable. I cannot remember a single thing that happens there. And then we have the end of the movie, the climax, which is, and it's honestly why Scarlet isn't the best Despicable Me villain. Like at least Vector and El Macho bring something to the table. Scarlet was only cool before she actually went full-on villain mode. When she was just kind of goofing around the minions, it was cool. And then when she turns on them, it's like, okay, you're just a regular villain. She lost all her charm like almost immediately. So yeah, I don't know. Minions is a mediocre movie. Then we have Secret Life of Pets. This one is just plain garbage. I did not like this movie when it first came out, and I still don't. I thought I liked it. I thought it had something interesting to it, and I thought that Secret Life of Pets 2 was actually going to be a lot better. I thought Secret Life of Pets 1 ended in a way that would make Secret Life of Pets 2 all the more cooler. I'm like, oh my gosh, the pets are finally coming out to the sewers. That means Secret Life of Pets 2, the pets are going to rise against the humans. We're going to have a sort of animal versus human movie. That would be so sick. And then it would be like kind of like an Illumination theory, like how we have the Pixar theory, where the animals win. And then this eventually leads off into the movies like Sing and Sing 2, where it's animals living in a human world. But no, just no. This movie sucks. Everyone has already made a comparison that this movie is just like Toy Story or Finding Nemo, and it is. Like seriously, this movie is just YouTube funny little animals, but animated and put onto the screen. Honestly, you would have a better time watching Toy Story or Finding Nemo than this film. And the fact that this came out in the same year as Finding Dory, you'd have had a better time watching that movie back then. So yeah, no, this movie is just garble. Next, we have Sing. Originally, I did say that this was the best Illumination movie that they made. Even way back when, before like Sing 2 came out, I was like, oh gosh, this movie is so good. I legit unironically love this movie. And I still kind of do. I still think it's a good movie. But now that Sing 2 exists, this is sad. This movie has fallen off for me. I'll talk more about why I don't think Sing 1 is good anymore when I get to Sing 2. But yeah, Sing 1, better than Minions, but still a very, very mediocre movie. It's yeah, you would actually rather watch Zootopia because it came out in the same year. Next, we have Despicable Me 3. This one is just garbage. This one is plain bad. I found no joy when I was watching this movie. Like, what was the point of making this movie? Actually, that was like the big thing that was going through my head when the trailers came out and when I was actually watching the movie. I was like, what was the point of this movie? This movie felt so unnecessary. It is bad. Like, at least with the first two movies, those are enjoyable films to watch. This one has nothing. And then, of course, now Despicable Me has fallen, like, it's fallen on its face with its own formula. Because for those who don't know, aside from having a worse villain with each movie, the Despicable Me movies all have a formula, with Gru getting something new. In the first movie, he gets a family, that being the girls as he adopts as his daughters. In the second movie, he gets a wife. In this movie, he gets a brother. So what are they going to do for Despicable Me 4? Tell me, Illumination. What are they going to do? His father's canonically dead. Okay, maybe you're gonna bring in a second cousin, or maybe you're gonna give him an actual kid to take care of, like his own biological child. What? Why? This movie has like three subplots, three going on. One with Lucy and the daughters trying to bond, another one with Gru and his brother trying to stop the main villain, and one with Minions going to prison. And I tell you, out of all those three subplots, only one of those is actually important to the story, Gru and his brother. The rest is just fluff. It's filler. There's no consequence to the final climax whatsoever. It's so shoehorned. I've never seen a movie more forced into existence than this one, and I legit do not want to watch Despicable Me 4 because I thought this was gonna be the last Despicable Me movie. I'm like, what more could they do with it? What more? You've milked this cow for all it's worth. But clearly, by the fact that Minions 2 exists and we are gonna get Despicable Me 4, I'm sad. So yeah, Minions 2 just has no reason to exist. Next, we have The Grinch. This one, I would say, I'll put it in garbage, but, hear me out. It's better than Secret Life of Pets and Despicable Me 3 for a couple of reasons. One, this movie isn't all bad. The final act is really good. I really like the way it ends. It's a very nice, heartfelt ending, fun, happy stuff. The problem I have with this movie is that the first two acts are a pain to get through. Like, god damn. It is slow, it is boring. Nothing happens in this film. Granted, this film has gorgeous animation, but nothing happens until the end, where now you feel like that's the actual story, that this is where the charm of the movie comes in. So I will say the ending of this movie has a lot of charm, but you're gonna slog through a lot to get there. It is so painfully boring. This movie could have been half an hour long, and I don't think anyone would have complained. But no, we need to get to an hour 30 so that we get to rake in all that money. I will say the marketing for this film was just off the charts. Of course, Illumination knows how to market their stuff well, but like, yes. Next, we have The Secret Life of Pets 2. This one is also just garbage. I think, aside from Despicable Me 3, this might be the worst Illumination movie. Like, aside from adding nothing to the Secret Life of Pets universe, and again, as I mentioned, just being a disappointment overall, because it's not what I wanted. Look at me being a superficial nerd in the basement. Well, actually. Anyway, aside from this film just being a disappointment to me personally, based on like its marketing when I first heard of it, I'm like, oh, this movie is not at all what I thought it was gonna be. Okay, maybe it's gonna be interesting when it comes out. Maybe I'll like it. No, this movie came out. I watched it. I was so disappointed. This movie has no substance in it whatsoever. Like, it tries to be a fun little animal comedy movie, but it fails at that even. Like, there was this subplot where like the Kevin Hart rabbit is trying to like save a tiger. I was at least interested in that. But like, this movie has very little substance for me to latch on to and enjoy. I cannot find any enjoyment in this movie. The animation is nice, I guess. The story has some semblance of actually wanting to be a story, but no, it's nothing. This movie is nothing. This movie is actually worse than the first one in that people were saying the first one's just an hour and a half of little animals being silly. The second movie just took that to 11. Now it's an hour and a half of animals literally being silly. They just pulled, it's like they animated different clips of funny animal videos on YouTube and then just decided to make a movie out of them. It's just animals being wacky. And you know they took it literally because even in the end credits, they showed to see like kids playing with their pets and hanging out with different animals, which I'm probably 100% sure they pulled this off YouTube or they pulled it off the movie makers, like families and kids and whatnot. It felt very forced and they were clearly trying to squeeze some emotion out of the audience. I didn't fall for it, all right? And you guys know I love pets, all right? You know I love my dogs. So the fact that both Secret Life of Pets movies suck, you can tell it's the movie's fault. And then we have Sing 2. This one restored my faith in humanity for a second. This is such a good movie. I know there are so many people who hate this movie to death because it's essentially just Sing 1, except flashier. And I think that's why I love this movie so much. It's literally Sing 1, but flashier. It's got, first of all, the animation in this movie, just top tier. And then second of all, the pacing in this movie is a lot better. The pacing in the first movie was kind of all over the place because we're like following like 7 different characters and they all have their own story to go on and it kind of just feels clunky. With this second movie, you could tell they learned their mistake from the first film and each character not only has their own time to breathe, but the movie is actually able to like inject new characters into its story and it doesn't feel forced or clunky. Everything, weirdly enough, feels like it was placed in an orderly manner. And that climax, oh my God, that climax made me remember what animation is for. That climax is so colorful, so bouncy, so cool. Everything about it, and I don't care what you say. This movie is hands down Illumination's best movie. Everyone's like, oh, it's Despicable Me. No, it's Sing 2, guys. It's Sing 2. You guys are missing the bigger picture. I love this movie. And again, the fact that this movie now exists makes me hate Sing 1 even more. Sing 1, at the time when it came out, I really liked it for what it is. It's just a bunch of talking animals singing. All kids love that. I loved it. But now that Sing 2 exists, now that we know that they could actually do better, Sing 1 just means nothing to me. It's just you fell off, my guy. So that's why Sing 1 has gone to mediocre, while Sing 2 is just in pretty good. This is honestly like Illumination's best film, and I could like it's so good. I just love this movie. I ironically really like this film. I would watch it again in a heartbeat. And then we have Minions: The Rise of Gru. Yeah, this movie's pretty good. I have had a week to sit on this movie and it's fun. It's not like the first Minions movie where it's actually trying to tell a serious story. And it's not trying to be like Despicable Me 1 and 2, where it's telling a simple story that's tugging at your heartstrings. No, this movie series has finally admitted it's nothing but meme fodder. It is nothing but fuel for the internet to live on. And the fact that this movie is just an entire compilation of like minions doing funny things and ending up in weird places. Like this movie has just said, we have given in to the public. We're gonna become a meme for the youngsters and we're gonna become fuel for the for the Facebook moms to like put us on their statuses or whatever. This movie has just fully given in. And the fact that it has done that and embraced its identity, I love it. Illumination has basically said, yes, we are milking this franchise for everything it's worth. It's our cash cow. We are going to just have fun with it. And yeah, if they're having fun with it, I had fun with it. This movie is a fun movie. It acknowledges it's not even taking itself in the slightest bit seriously. This does make the villains suffer though, because the villains were truly the best parts of the early Despicable Me movies. But the fact that this movie is just having fun with itself, it actually made me feel like I could have fun with this movie. So yeah, I really like this movie. It's obviously not as good as the first two Despicable Me movies, and it does not even hold a candle to Sing 2. But it's a fun movie that will distract your kids, and it's full of just meme potential. This movie is just Illumination saying, we've given in. We are the fast food of film studios. And at the end of the day, that's what Illumination is. They're just the fast food of film studios. They're the McDonald's of animation. They're here to keep you busy for a short time. They'll entertain you. They'll fill your mind with some fat, some nonsense. and then you leave, you move on with your life. And the fact that they finally embraced that, I'm good with it. I'm good with it, man. So yeah, no, the last two Illumination movies are pretty good. It does make me slightly hopeful for their future. What thought they'll do next? Maybe they'll put some effort into Despicable Me 4. Who knows? But one thing's for sure. The minute we get a trailer and a title for this Mario movie, the internet is gonna lose their minds. Oh no, it's me, Mario. Let's go. Woohoo! Yeah, I'm gonna be there for that, baby. I cannot wait for this movie to come out. I'm gonna clown for the Illumination. But there we go, guys. Those are my rankings of every Illumination movie. The best ones are Sing 2, Despicable Me 2, and Minions 2, The Rise of Gru. Those are the ones I think are actually pretty fun to watch. So if you want to have a good time, watch these ones. Then we have the mediocre passable movies. These movies are like a 6 out of 10 at best. They are Sing and Minions. And then we have the So Bad It's Good movies. These movies are like 3 and 4s out of 10, but they're just so fun to watch. You cannot look away. Hop and Lorax, and then we just have the plain garbage movies. These movies do nothing but waste your time, and they mean nothing in the grand scheme of things. Grinch, Secret Life of Pets, Despicable Me 3, and Secret Life of Pets 2. Don't watch those ones. Just stay the hell away from those ones. Yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you so very much for watching. I have been Captain Phoenix. I hope I haven't wasted too much of your time, unlike Illumination. And hopefully you think my channel is also fast food. You will keep coming back. I keep filling the brain with fat. People like my videos, right? And subscribe. Guys, please, I need to get to 150 subscribers. I'm begging of you. Anyways, be sure to like if you like, subscribe if you haven't already, hit the notification bell to be part of the team, sub account, get me to 150 subscribers so I can celebrate and make my parents proud. And yeah, with that, I'll see you in another universe.